Hi everyone, welcome to NFTV Extra. It's me, Owen, joined by Lee, and today we have a brand new series to bring to you. It is called Talking Toon. In this series, it is a 10 questions per person series. I'll be going through the whole Newcastle Fans TV crew and asking them their favourite things about Newcastle. Here is a little intro. Lee, do you like that? Do you see that?
See what you've done there? You've been grafting, haven't you?
Yeah, grafting. Absolutely. So let's just hop straight into the questions because I've been working hard compiling these together and all sorts. Make sure you get your comments in, guys, as well, because we'll be answering them. So question one, straight away. I know you love my questions. What is your favourite moment of the season so far?
Oh, that's an easy one. We've done a video with Paul the other day. Spurs away.
Spurs away, do you think?
Without a shadow of a doubt. Do you want us to go into detail why?
Yeah, just explain why is that such a favourite moment of the season?
It was quite similar today. Absolutely red hot outside. It was lad banter all the way in the car. Me, Paul, Johnny, Kyle were in the car, which is a fantastic day out. And Spurs' brand new stadium. Didn't know what to expect of it. Seen the pint come up from the bottom. Johnny got a pint. Johnny's mates fell in love with us, loved us, and you're that guy, you're mint. And then obviously the cricket. Johnny was celebrating cricket, man, before kick-off. But anyways, I seen Joe Litton score in the flesh. I was crying. I was like a little baby. I was so happy because I didn't expect Steve Bruce to pull a result off quite like that. Mm-hmm. And it was happy joy, and I didn't really cry. And in a matter of like any day of life, quite hard like that. Yeah. But I was bubbling like a little baby. Then outside, it was all good. Forward, it came over, and we were all like winding each other up. It was just a fantastic day, and everybody felt, even though it's a 5-hour journey home, and don't get me wrong, we were tired because of the heat and stuff. But that's why you go to those away games. It's like them small moments that you just, remember the time we went to Spurs? I'll always say that now. But yeah, that's my favourite moment so far, without doubt.
Yeah, definitely. What a day. I remember when the Spurs game was on. It wasn't long after I joined. Well, it was a couple of games into when I joined the channel. The season had just started. I ended up being at Reading Festival that weekend. And I was getting my mate to check the score because my phone had run out of charge because I forgot to bring my charger to a festival. How stupid. And next time I asked him to check, it's full time. I'd completely lost track of the time. 1-0, I just screamed in a massive arena full of people. And obviously everyone could see I got my Newcastle top on. Everyone came over congratulating me and whatnot. All banner about Steve Bruce. So yeah, what a day. And it's sort of a different question for this one. What is your favourite Newcastle home kit?
Again, that's pretty obvious for me. It's a brown ale one between 95 and 97. A few reasons. I think it's the best design in modern era. I say modern era, before you were born. But in the last 25, 30 years, that's the best kit. But not only that, happy memories, as I've touched upon this many times. 95, 96 season was my first season. And you've seen the football that we played with Chinola, Beardsley, Rob Lee, Gillespie, Aspria. Shearer came in later on in the summer. Obviously, Sir Les banging in 29 goals in 95, 96. It was happy moments. We had the brand new stadium. Euro 96 had just finished. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And obviously, I've got the replica kit. And you've obviously you're wearing the away one from that season as well.
Fake those mine. Two, talk about that though.
Those two shirts, the best for me.
Definitely. And Lee, just to point this out here, we have a fantastic membership opportunity. Lee, do you want to tell us about the Facebook memberships?
No, I'll let you. No, I'm joking. Facebook memberships private group is where we all 7 to 8 of us post different stuff, new ideas like sharing videos, polls, basically what we're up to. The YouTube side of things on the main channel, not this one, but on the other one, is exclusive to looking at all the videos. So host Enrique went out tonight, so people would have seen that yesterday. And there's bronze, silver, gold. The more you pay, the more access you get. Look, it's not for everybody, but if you want a lot more stuff of things that we're up to, like there's a behind the scenes stuff. Obviously, the Northeast documentary I'm doing at the moment, you'll be able to see Darlington. Not that you want to watch Darlington, but yeah, it's to get more out of what we do. if you like the stuff that we do, come on over.
Yeah, fantastic. Facebook membership group is the private group on Facebook is an amazing place to be. You get to meet some of the closest people who follow the channel. You get to see some behind the scenes content, which is also important, especially if you like watching Newcastle Fans TV on the regular. As we hop into question 3 now for Lee, which is, what is your favourite Newcastle away strip?
I've just answered that for you.
Yeah,
the one you're wearing.
There we go.
Same reasons. I quite like the one that we've done. So, do you know, like the one that we done last season's one? They've obviously done the remake of that. That's probably more my favourite modern. But again, it's going back to me being a kid, childhood. Very similar reasons to the first one. Happy memories.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll just have a look at some of your comments right now. Jonathan Young says, is that a can, Lee, that you were drinking at the very start? Is that a can?
I'm promoting a lot of things tonight. No, it's sadly it's water.
Oh dear, it is sad that is not a can. I mean, we're all just counting down the days now, I think, for hopefully when the takeover may be, praying it's Monday. If not, then the 9th of June, because we all know how the Bladen Races song goes. So definitely, we're all counting down the days and hoping. Which leads me nicely on to question 4. What is your favourite Newcastle goal of the Mike Ashley era?
Oh,
there's a lot to choose from.
There is, but I'm trying to just think what's popping to my head right now. CC against Chelsea was, I mean, his first goal is a sensational goal as well, which doesn't get talked about much. But that second goal is up there. That was brilliant. That was sensational. Ben Arthur's against Bolton was absolutely... That was, your first game. We've touched upon that in another video before. That was sensational. But if I had to just pick off the top of your head, probably more will come later whilst I'm thinking. But Ben Arthur, again, against Blackburn in the FA Cup was, without a shadow of a doubt, under Ashley's era. He picked the ball up just inside his own half on the right-hand flank and started to move inwards, just beats about 6-7 players and just wallops it from about 8 yards top net. Because it was in the FA Cup and it wasn't live, it doesn't get seen by everybody. It was in the Premier League. That's better than Bolton goal for me, without a shadow of a doubt. Mint.
Yeah, I think as good as the Bolton goal was. If you watch it back, it kind of like Ben Arthur has an easy run through there. No one really closes him down.
It's still a hell of a goal, a Bolton goal.
It is a good goal. A goal that.
Sorry, but it reminds me, do you know when Rob Ayres scored them 2 against Spurs? It's like, which one do you choose? Ben Arthur one is like, do you choose the Bolton one or do you choose the Blackburn one? It's like, it's so split. Yeah. Whereas I always go the Blackburn one because it's more, it does a lot more individual skill than the first one. Yeah, definitely. And I think an honourable mention that maybe wasn't brought up in that was the Obafemi Martin's goal against goal against Spurs, I think. Well, from miles out. Yeah, it bashed on his left foot into the top left, I think it was, from like outside the box. That's a brilliant goal, I think. That's a stunning goal. Just one, maybe just for the records, I quite enjoy the Shola goals against Sunderland. Kevin Nolan, not great goals, but I enjoyed them. Yeah, I think part of a good goal isn't just how the goal is scored, but like what game it's scored in. The emotion. I think a typical goal of that would probably be Matty Longstaff versus Man United. Yeah, well, that goes back to the Ben Arthur one, because the Ben Arthur one in the FA Cup doesn't have much emotion. But the Matty Longstaff one, because it has a story behind it. Matty Longstaff's goal is not a brilliant goal. It's a good strike bottom corner. But because it has a story behind it, an emotion behind it, it means more. So it gets shown more over, and it'll get shown again and again and again. Whereas Ben Arthur's has none of that. It's just a brilliant piece of it. And it got recommended for a Puskas Award for Goal of the Year across the world. That's how good Ben Arthur's was. Yeah, definitely. And it also, Mike Ashley era, maybe it's not been as good as the goals as there was before, which brings me nicely onto this question here. What is your favourite Newcastle goal of all time? I know mine. Again, just thinking off the top of my head, and for the younger people, you probably need to Google/YouTube this as David Ginola's against Ferencvaros. Shearer's volley comes very, very, very close. And I like his side foot volley against Schmeichel, against Villa when Rob Lee's diagonal pass. But Janola's one, oh man, if you haven't seen it after this video, go on YouTube it. Corner comes in, it gets like headed up in the air. Janola's got a defender on him and he chests it, he knees it and then flicks it up in the air and just volleys it top corner outside of the box. It was against Ferencvaros and it was UEFA Cup and it was shown on BBC. That just, for me, the audacity to do it was sensational. What a goal.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I think the Shearer goal, the volley against Everton, is mentioned quite a bit. I think a lot of fans say that's probably their favourite Newcastle goal of all time. Like you said, the Aston Villa one comes close as well. I absolutely love that goal just for the fact it's scored against Schmeichel and all sorts. But I think my favourite Newcastle goal of all time would probably have to be Albert versus Man United. It's the circumstances that it was in. We were 4-0 up. Then your centre half wanders up the field and decides to dink it over Man United's goalkeeper. The sheer just cheek of it is it's pure shithousery, really, isn't it?
Again, it's got a story behind it. You're 4-0 up, and it's just the cockiness of Albert to do it.
Yeah,
I think Schmeichel's a little bit off his line and dinks him. It is. I'm comparing Janola's with best and favourite as well. With probably two of them, but the way Albert done that, and a lot of people don't know, is that after that 5-0 defeat, Man United went to the Dell the very next game, and Southampton put 6 past them. And Matthew Letitia chips Schmeichel from the edge of the box as well. And that doesn't really get talked about much because, again, Albert gets all the headlines.
Yeah.
But to have it 2 weeks running, poor Peter. Poor red-nosed Peter.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll just have a look at some of your comments again right now. Andrew, NUFC, says, Solano versus Everton outside of the right foot, sublime. I think that one doesn't really get talked about. You see it on a few compilations, but I've never really heard anybody speak about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely underrated goal, definitely.
Robert could have a competition on his own as well. Solano had some beautiful goals as well. Solano is one of my favourite, if not the favourite Newcastle player of all time for me as an individual, because similar to him, as I played on the right-hand flank and also played in goal. But the technique that he had, I played my game on him. I had a lot more pace than Solano back in the... Obviously, Solano's a hell of a player, but I was based on pace. But I would love to have his technique. Oh, what a player. Outside the boots, half volley crosses, amazing goals, the amount of crosses, set pieces, corners, work rate. Oh, brilliant. What a signing that was. And that was done by Kenny Dalglish of all people as well.
Yeah, and things with Solano as well is that I think he's just so underrated in terms of the Premier League. Like, you think about the amount of games that he played and how long he spent in Newcastle and the goals he scored. Incredibly underrated.
He's up there with David Beckham every year for assists.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, which leads me nicely, as we were talking earlier, about Robert's free kick against Liverpool in the FA Cup. We're talking about Robert earlier, and man, he just scores some absolute screamers, doesn't he? This man. I mean, you know how fast his shot is, don't you, Lee?
Yeah, your daft quiz questions. Yeah, that was at Anfield, but he's probably his most famous goal, ironically, is In Goal, the movie. It's St. James's Park when Scott Carson's made his debut. I think Scott Carson made his debut for Liverpool, and Robert's at St. James's Park, and Carson really should be saving it. And that goal was used for the film, and also Robert's like funny flick behind him against Fulham where it goes in. That was also used.
Yeah, I think it was a bicycle kick, wasn't it, or overhead kick against Fulham? Yeah.
I don't know how he done it. It was weird.
A brilliant goal, and just the final one from Sam here. Aspria's third versus Barcelona. I think that was circumstance. Yeah,
it's Gillespie who should get all the credit for that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Asprilla has leaped in the air, but he's got a free header. Gillespie makes that goal because he's inside his own half, just burst past Sergi, and Sergi was a Spanish international, and hell of a cross. And Gillespie wasn't renowned for crossing where Solano is. And yeah, it's emotional goal, that is, isn't it? It's his hat-trick. It's a story behind it.
Definitely. Talking about moments there, beating Barcelona. What is your favourite Newcastle United moment of all time?
Oh,
Tough
Favourites.
question that, because there's so many to pick from, and I might just let you off on this one, and you don't have to whittle it down to one. You can just name me a few.
It's tough just to say one. When I think of the good times, of course, as I mentioned earlier on in this stream, is 95, 96, 96, 97 was brilliant, and it went into a bit of a lull when Dalglish was ripping the team apart and Huller came in and brought a bunch of journeymen, because there were these signings. But Bobby coming back was a really, really good time. I was in my early teens then, and I really, really started enjoying football with Solano, with Robert, Olivier Bernard behind Robert, and you had Shearer. That's probably, in terms of moments, it's hard to just pinpoint just one, but in the terms of years, I probably enjoyed Bobby more because I remember a lot more of it, whereas Keegan, the Keegan era, here and there spells, because I was like under 10, I was like 8 or 9. But my happiest moment is probably Bobby, because we're flying. Getting Rafa Benitez was quite a big achievement as well. That's got to be up there as well. I called that, remember? Got a lot of stick for it when I said Rafa Benitez. I got laughed at. But Bobby, I would say Bobby spell.
Yeah, I think Bobby Robson coming is a lot of fans' favourites, because there was just something about him coming home and turning things around that was quite special, I think, to many fans. And I think we were having a discussion about the other day, does Bobby Robson deserve a statue over Keegan at the ground? I think for what Keegan did at Newcastle, definitely deserves a statue over Bobby Robson, but there's no doubt about it.
I think you've just got a video idea right there. Joe Harvey, Kevin Keegan, and Bobby Robson. There's a video idea right there. Debate that.
Yeah,
in fact,
definitely.
For this week's radio show.
Yeah, actually, that's a great idea. Stay tuned for the radio show on the main channel. But yeah, so Bobby Robson, for what he did, everything in football, from England to Barcelona, PSV, Porto, Newcastle, Ipswich, the lot of them. Amazing man, let's be honest. And rest in peace, Sir Bobby Robson.
Lovely.
Slightly more light-hearted than that. Question number 7. What is your favourite season? I think you've already partially answered this, but if you had to choose another season to, the ones in the mid-90s and whatnot, let's say after 2000, what was your favourite season?
I really enjoyed the Champions League campaign when we got. It was back then. You had 6 games, knockout phase 1, and then you had stage 2, where it was again another group stage of another 6 games to play, and then you get into the quarters. So that was a long way to go, and obviously the Champions League narrowed it down. But that's probably then, because we're doing well in the league. We had the likes of Jimmy and Janis just signed, Hugo Viana, who we've interviewed before. So that season, I loved that season because I loved the midweek games. And I remember it because Freeview went digital, and you can get 40, 50 channels on Freeview. It was a big, big thing if you didn't have Sky. And Newcastle would broadcast on ITV2 quite a lot. And then the Bayer Leverkusen games, Shearer scoring a hat-trick at home, and we didn't have any strikers away because Bellamy got sent off at home at Inter when the ripped were apart, and Shearer got daft suspended, which shouldn't have been suspended. We had Amiobi and Lawala up front, we ripped them apart. We won 3-1. All 10,000 Geordies in the San Siro. I would love to have been old enough to have money to go to that. I mean, I would have Skype school for a week. I would have had a holiday there in Italy. But yes, we went in front, but sadly we went out. We came 3rd behind Barcelona. Barcelona and Inter, was it? It's not bad, It's not bad record. Considering I think we got 8 or 9 points.
Yeah. It's good to see. I mean, that's probably around the time that I was born, so I obviously heard about it, just never actually seen it. I know I'm making you feel old, mate. I'm so sorry. So question number 8. Who is your favourite Newcastle player from the Ashley era and of all time? So one from the Ashley era and one of all time, or just the one if it's just from the Ashley era.
Ooh. Solano crosses both, doesn't he?
Technically, yes. I think so.
Because I love Solano for, as I mentioned earlier, for his cleverness. He's a very clever footballer. So I'll pick Solano pre-hand because I absolutely love Solano. Shearer's the easiest one to pick. So no, I pick Shearer because she was a god, and I'd love to interview Alan. I really would have reached out once or twice, and we'll try again. To get Alan Shearer, I would phone in sick at work. I really would. Because he's the dream. So probably before Ashley, I would have Shearer. I'm going to be a little bit sneaky and squeeze in Solana because it was in the transition period. I'm sure it was. So I'll say Nobby at the very beginning of Ashley's reign. I'm sure he was. If it's not Nobby, I apologise. And I'd say probably Alan St. Maximum.
Really?
I'll go. Yeah, I love Alan St. Maximum. I think why I like Alan St. Maximum is because, man, on and off the pitch, because we sit so deep, we've got to rely on him and Miggy. And I think St. Maximum does a better getting up the pitch than what Miggy does. And he can go past 3-4 players. And have you noticed, Miggy gets fouled a lot, but Alan St. Maximum doesn't.
Yeah.
Alan St. Maximum can get away from his man.
Yeah.
Yes, and his final product needs to improve, but you'll get better. You will with games. And off the field, I love it how he winds up fans and interacts with fans. Obviously, he's retweeted us a few times. Instagram, I love it how he shares his life. He's expressive. He doesn't have his missus involved in any Instagram and nothing like that. He shows his kids and all that, and I like that. To more of a human side of him. So that's probably why I'm more pushing towards Alan St. Maximin for more current times.
Yeah, it's mad how he's not even been here a season yet, and he's like a cult hero already. He's the type of player that if he stays for a long period of time, you could see being given some sort of role at the club when he's retired, or maybe a statue's pushing it, depending on what he achieved.
The one thing I don't agree with is his son being in an Arsenal shirt.
I said that as well. Especially
these other kids are dressed in Newcastle shirts, and he is, but his son, for some reason, is an Arsenal kit. Not having that. Mate. Sorry, Alan.
Something fishy. Alan, if you're watching, make sure you put the Arsenal kit in the bin. But yeah, for me, I think Mike Ashley era, okay, it's been a horrible 13 years, but we've got some nice players, I think. You think, in the early 10s, you got Kabai, Bar, Cisse,
Ben Arthur.
All that.
Enrique, who we had on the channel tonight.
Enrique as well.
Tim Krul had a good spell for short. I say short. No, that's for 3 years, I would say. Well, have had decent players, but you could probably mirror that up, and I bet the bad players outweigh the good.
Yeah, I think so. But if I had to pick one from the Ashley era, right, and it sounds stupid because of the way he left, but Perez was always a favourite of mine. I think it was because he came in sort of like around the time, like it was just after, so it was the season after, I believe. It was, so he left in 2018. No, so he came in, 2013, 2014?
Yeah, he came for like 1.5 million, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. But he was around the time that I really started like remembering stuff like Newcastle and starting to understand football in the way that I do now, all the behind the scenes stuff and all sorts. So he's someone that came in and I sort of followed throughout my time supporting Newcastle, and I don't know, I just fell in love with him. And then he had that season, the season we came up where he scored 8, and the chip over Schmeichel against Leicester. I will always the scenes in the house when that went in, and then also the goal against Arsenal as well. The one where I think it's. He
was a love-hate character, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
1 week you would love him, but the next week you cannot stand him because he's doing this. He's not performing. He's lazy. As his tenure went on at Newcastle, he came in very, very shy for a few years, and then he became quite outspoken. Then he grew into a man, arguing with officials a lot more. However, when Rafa came in, I think you've seen a bit of a change in him because he's working backwards, which he never used to do. And he used to do a lot of pressing for us as well.
Yeah.
Which was key for Rafa's tactic, because if you don't press under Rafa, you won't make the lineup. I think that's why Mitrovic didn't get much of a look in, because he wasn't useful off the ball.
No, definitely. But as I said, yeah, Perez for me from the Ashley era, I just fell in love with him because of just how good he came towards the end. And I was gutted when he left. I was as gutted as when Rafa left when he left because of just the two last seasons.
We couldn't know about it because it was a trigger clause.
No, exactly.
It was Perez's decision to leave, not Newcastle's.
No, exactly. And I think that's what hurts the most is that he actually wanted to leave after after everything, after us pretty much making him. But outside of the Ashley era, Shearer's an easy one to go for. So for me, I probably have to go with like Aspria, who's up there, or or I don't know. There's so many players like that you can just point out. Robert is also a favourite of mine, playing for the goals he scored. Albert is also a massive favourite of mine, plainly because he's just what's not to like about an attacking centre half. We're just going to quickly have another look at another advert we've got here, Lee. This time it's Amazon, and tell us about Amazon, Lee, and Beer 52 and 3 Retro.
3 Retro is where you can get all of your classic Newcastle shirts. They just had 2 new ones added as well. A couple of people have messaged our Facebook page asking for bigger sizes. It's just a case of stock levels. That's all it's down to. But you can get a lot more retro stuff on Amazon. You can get stuff like you've got behind me. You can see a couple of stuff. You can see behind Owen. It's got all that kind of stuff on Amazon. You can think of beds, sheets, to car accessories, to DVDs, books, and all of that. And BR52 is a new one that Sam got for us, which is great. And that offer's mental. You can get 8 cans, a snack, a magazine for £6. Honestly, £6. You just pay for the delivery. That's it. And then you can cancel it if you wish to, if you don't want to pursue the subscription. Get your cans in for takeover.
Yeah, exactly. And my 18th birthday coming up next Tuesday, so I might be having a look at that one. Just have a little glance at the comments before we go into the last 2 questions. Do the Schmeichels like some salsa with their chips?
Oh, he sounds like Rob. Jonathan, that's just shame on you. Shame on you. Rob will be giggling away at that. That's disgraceful, Jonathan. Disgraceful.
That is horrific. Carl Muir says Rob Lee and Shearer are his favourite players, which is, fair enough. I think Rob Lee. I think he's very much in Newcastle fans' thoughts all the time, but he's not mentioned as in like one of the greatest players to ever play for Newcastle. I think that's an unfair thing because I think it was pretty decent. He
spent 10 years at the club.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and he was, when he first came, he was more of an attacking midfielder. Mm-hmm. He was in modern day Frank Lampard. He was scoring 10, 11 goals per season. And then as he got older, he still kept his place, kind of like where Paul Scholes started to drop back and back. But not as good as Paul Scholes, of course. But Scholes didn't have the legs to get forward as much, so he dropped back. Similar to Rob Lee, how his career went.
Yeah, definitely Rob Lee. As we said, extremely underrated. This one just going a little bit off topic. I'm not really like talking about it. I'm getting bored of it. Do you think the takeover is going to be done soon or not going to happen? I hope it is going to happen. #cans. Lee, yes or no is going to happen soon?
I still think it'll happen, 75%.
Yeah, for me, definitely 75 to 80% going to happen. So I'll go back to question number 9. Who is your favourite Newcastle manager of all time? Now, this doesn't have to be someone that you've seen. It could be someone previously that you've heard stories about and, completely, think about and adore. For instance, Joe Harvey. Or it could be someone that you've seen in the flesh and you've supported the team while they've been manager. Who is it?
It's out of Rafa, Bobby, or Keegan. And I have to narrow that down to Keegan or Bobby Robson. It has to be Bobby Robson because I loved it, but I'll probably judge it with Keegan because Keegan changed the club. We wouldn't be this modern club if Keegan didn't save us from the old second division, which was the championship equivalent. Now we were right bottom and we were heading down when Keegan came in. He saved and he turned with the help of Sir John Hall. Of course, don't get me wrong, Freddie Fletcher, Freddie Shepherd, Douglas Hall changed the club and became more modernised and became the power that we were in the 90s. But that went along with Keegan. It was a sensational turnaround from a bottom-end championship club, the equivalent of today, to a top-end Premier League club in the space of a few years. Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's probably Rafa because I haven't seen a great manager apart from Rafa. It's the only manager I really have seen in my lifetime. Like Bobby Robson, was around when I was born, but not like I can't remember him. I would have just been in my baby grow, sat in front of the TV, probably asleep.
Bobby was around. That makes us all feel old.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I can't help it. Which puts me nicely onto the final question. If you could choose one thing that has already happened to Newcastle in its history, and you could get it to happen again, what would it be and why?
Let's read that out again. If you could choose one thing that has already happened to Newcastle in its history and get it to happen again, what would it be and why? I could easily say the league titles that were won in the early, whenever it was, early 1920s, whatever it was. But for me, I would probably say the succession of trophies that were won in the 50s. That'd be great to have that back. We won 3 FA Cups within a short spell. If we could have that succession of all them trophies getting won, I would love to live through that, because we'll all have anybody who's under the age of, I know we haven't won a trophy for 51 years, but probably anyone under the age of 60 can't remember us lifting the trophy. So I would love to see us lift a trophy, but not just one, but go on and win another one a year later or a couple of years later. I would love to relive that and experience what it's like winning trophies. And sadly, as Newcastle fans, we don't experience that.
No, and I think if that was to happen today as well, you'd have the grounds to then build on it. Whereas, okay, fair enough. Back then we did sort of build on it. That's how we won as many as we did in a row. But nowadays, if you did that, I think, and we had new owners or whatever, that would be a basis to build on, I think, and you'd eventually become that cup winning side, that powerhouse in English football that Newcastle used to be.
I think what I'd probably come quite close to that one is in the 95-96 season, Keegan gets criticised a lot for being too attacking. I'll probably tighten up a little bit if I was the manager. If I look back in hindsight, and a lot of his ex-players have said that, if Keegan just grinded out wins instead of being all gun-ho, Newcastle might have won that Premier League title that year if there were a little bit. And also, people do remember that Gillespie lost his place. Biasney was put over at the right. Lee Clark was taken out the side. David Batty came in. A lot of people blame Aspria, which is a little bit unfair.
Yeah. What was I going to say about the 95-96 season? It's completely gone from my head. What would have happened if Newcastle had won the Premier League that year? That would have been where would we be today? I mean, things could have been completely different.
It would have been different. I think you might have seen a spell when Newcastle were to dominate for a few years, perhaps, because you wouldn't have seen Dalglish came in, you wouldn't have seen Huller came in. It would have been a successful transition of trophies. I generally feel that, because if you look at the following season when Keegan left, we still came second, and we got an FA Cup final. And then we got it Champions League the following year. So that was just after Keegan. We had Keegan for that duration. Yeah, I think we would have got a trophy or two. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, disappointing really in the end what happened with that. And that does conclude the show for this evening. I hope you have all enjoyed the show tonight. It's been an enjoyable first episode with Lee. We've had some nice insight about before I was born. And we've had some nice opinions from him as well. So, yeah, that does wrap up the show for tonight, guys. Make sure you keep an eye out for episode 2, and make sure you keep an eye out for the radio show this weekend as well. Make sure you tune in for that. I'm sure it's going to be a good one. Thanks very much, guys, for watching. Cheerio.